You're locked into Inception Radio Network, Superior, Wisconsin.
This is TruthFunders Radio on the Inception Radio Network, a weekly audio safari that features the newest in paranormal discoveries while highlighting the latest and not to be missed TruthFunder.com projects. For truth seekers and true believers, this week's TruthFunders starts now.
Greetings, bonjour, hola, welcome, and hello. This is the live TruthFunders Radio show on the Inception Radio Network. My name is Art Webb. I am your host. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is a hot day here in Southern California, and I don't have anything in front of me right now. I want to say that you should listen to the TruthFunders show. There's all sorts of ways you can listen to it. You can listen to it on the Roku box. You can listen to it by downloading the amazing IRN app. And you can also stream it live on the IRN website every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time and 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm joined by Mark Schwartz. He is the CEO of TruthFunders.com. And I'm in a little bit of I would say I'm out of my element at the moment, in that I'm actually broadcasting this show from my car on the freeway in Los Angeles because there was a fire on the freeway, and they shut us all down, and I'm, via the wonderful world of technology, using my iPhone to run Skype through my Bluetooth, and I'm doing a live radio show from the wheel. So if I am distracted, it's because I'm not trying to die. So
it's pretty amazing, I have to say, Art. You know, the fact that you're broadcasting from like the middle of LA traffic in a car, I mean, that just shows how far we've come with technology, right? Because
oh my God, I mean, dude, 2008, this was impossible. I remember the first time I streamed internet radio in my car with a laptop, an 1/8-inch outlet, and a Verizon hotspot. Like, we had internet radio in the car, and that was a huge deal. And now I'm doing a show from the car, no more than what, like 7 or 8. What's 2008 to 2015? That's math I can't do, but you get the picture.
Yeah, and you know, when I was a child, my dream was that I would host a radio show. I would also be a trucker. Don't ask me why I wanted to be a trucker, but I think it was because I could travel. And so in my like 16-year-old head, this was the greatest thing in the world. I actually sent away to trucking school academy, and when it came in the mail, my parents like freaked out. They're like, "You are not being a trucker." But my goal was to be a trucker and have my own paranormal radio show that I broadcast from my truck. And now you're helping me live that out sort of vicariously by being stuck in traffic.
By sitting here with sweat dripping, because I had to turn off the air conditioning to do this, because otherwise you're just going to hear a whole lot of like air blowing into the microphone. And now I'm going to sit in this hot box in the sun. Thank God it's moving again, and I'm almost home. So hopefully by the end of the first break here, I should be back in my little makeshift studio.
Yeah, Neutron hopes that you get pulled over, by the way, for talking on your phone.
I told you. Did any of you listen? You listeners, stop. Everybody just stop and take a deep breath. I said I'm running my iPhone. Skype is on the iPhone. I'm running the Skype on the iPhone through the Bluetooth wireless receiver that is built into the car. So I am actually not talking into an iPhone. I'm talking into a microphone that's above my head that is in no way affecting my ability to steer a wheel. Thank you.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you for clearing that up for the listeners.
I'm playing so much right now. You have no idea. Like, when I get out of this car, I'm going to have to take a picture and put it on Facebook because I'm going to be drenched in sweat. Like, this is going to suck for the next 20 minutes.
Well, absorb it, enjoy it. We are about the light here at
You don't
TruthFunders.
absorb what you are. I'm secreting the sweat. It's not going to be absorbed. It's just going to be, and I get leather seats too. So this is wonderful. Nobody wants to hear me bitch about this.
I've been hearing you bitch about it forever. So tonight on the show, I mean, this is going to be a fantastic show. You know how you had your fanboy moment when we had
what's his name, Mark?
Ben Davidson on the phone, or Ben Davidson on the Suspicious Observers on the phone on the show a couple weeks ago, and you totally went fanboy on him because you loved his YouTube channel and all that he does. Well, today I'm going a little fanboy myself because we have Heidi Hollis on the show today to talk about all things paranormal, all things shadow people, all things ghosts, maybe demons. I don't know. There's so much that we can go and get into here. And for those of you who don't know Heidi, she has, I'm sure you all know, especially if you're listening to Inception Radio, because she has a radio show on Inception. She's been everywhere. She's been on every show from coast to coast and beyond. I mean, she is incredible. And Art, if you want to take from here, you said you have a little bio that you'd like to read and share with everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even kidding you right now as I'm explaining how I have giant beads of sweat dripping onto my arm. It's like I'm sitting in a sauna. I can't even hold the phone properly to read this thing because I'm dripping sweat onto the screen. Okay, Heidi Hollis is a truth seeker of the unknown. She is the world's foremost expert on shadow people and the Hat Man from the Curious George books, I believe. Phenomena and actually gives them both their descriptive names, and that's not true. It's not the Curious. It's a very different type of Hat Man. But she actually coined the descriptive names in her book, The Secret War, a true story about a real alien war and the shadow people. And her newest book, The Hat Man and Curious George Go to the Park, the true story of evil encounters. She's going to hate me for saying that. Her other acclaimed books, Jesus is No Joke, a true story of an unlikely witness who saw Jesus, and Picture Prayers, span a variety of topics based on Jesus and angel encounters. I have a spigot coming from my forehead right now. She has also authored and brought a new graphic novel series, Diary Blog of the Fickle Finders, which spans topics from aliens to angels. Hollis is also a lively talk radio show host, and she has her show The Outlander here on IRN. She's a lecturer, an occupational therapist, and she is obsessed with Dr. Seuss. Click the first link for a sample of this is the bio that you sent me that you didn't edit that part out. Okay, so that is Heidi. Her name is alliteration. I appreciate that very much so. And I think we should just bring her on right now because I'm in no position to do a show with you to talk about anything of value right now.
I muted myself because I was giggling over here too much. That was a beautiful, total, I think a purple carpet was rolled out and everything for me. That rocked. Thank you guys. That was really cool of you.
Yeah, we can upload that. Put that on SoundCloud, and everybody will go back and listen to it. Heidi, thanks for coming on and doing the show with us. I appreciate it, and Mark appreciates it.
Of course, my gosh.
And we got a lot to talk about because these are all very fascinating topics. I mean, in all seriousness, the Hat Man and all of these things that you are an expert on are just they are some of the topics of paranormal that will forever be, I think, shrouded in mystery, just because these are intangible in terms of how we can actually go after them, and there's just so much there. There's so much there in terms of what is going on, and I don't even know where to start. So maybe Mark can do that.
Absolutely. So Heidi, welcome. It's so, like I said, if I get nervous, it's only because I'm a big fan.
Oh, that's really, really kind of you. I'm serious. That's really cool.
It's so cool to hear your voice, especially because I listen to your show so often. To actually be talking with you is another thing, and so I'm sure all the people out there can relate because they're Heidi Hollis fans as well.
Goodness. I don't think I've ever met one before, but this is cool. It's an honor for me.
Yeah, right.
I actually have my hair slicked back like an NSYNC music video right now because I have so much sweat. I'm going to go ahead and send this photo to you, Mark. I'm sorry to interrupt the show.
So you look like a Guido then, huh?
I do. I look like a Norwegian Guido.
Can you do a cool little swoop with your hair, Dr. Seussian style or something?
Oh, Art could totally do that.
At this point, it's too wet. I'm taking a selfie right now while I'm driving, yes. And I'm going to go ahead and send this off to Mark just so. Oddly enough, I'm wearing a T-shirt with ice cool penguins on it. They're having a great time fucking being cold.
Love it.
And speaking of ice cold penguins, that's a good segue, right, Heidi?
Right.
So I'm really excited to have you on the show, and I was hoping that for the listeners, maybe there's some people that catch us on YouTube and some people that listen to us on iTunes that aren't familiar with your work. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself, specifically how you got into the realm and the world of the Shadow People, and the Hat Man. Like how did those two crazy, intense, paranormal, supernatural elements kind of come into your life, or how did you connect with them? And yes, I'll just leave it at that.
I connected with them kicking and screaming, trying to run in the opposite direction. No, I don't want to see these things. Oh my gosh. But my gosh, I was raised in a haunted house. So that
Me too, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, see?
Yeah.
So that's what gets, people always wonder what lights that fire. And it's like, well, I was tortured as a child, It's like, goodness. I mean, that's what it felt like,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't appreciate it as a kid.
No, they're real assholes is what it comes down to. Like, I get it. It's funny. But, like, why do you got to turn my shower on at 3 o'clock in the morning? It's not cool.
Oh, no, that's not cool at all. I was tortured. I could not stand what was happening, what was going on. No one in my family appreciated it much. And I just wanted answers. I don't know. I just felt like, how dare this thing had, scared me so much as a kid. I really wanted to find out what was going on. And then as a teenager, I lived out in the country a bit, and I saw odd lights in the sky, and that piqued my interest to look into the UFO topic. And it just seemed like wherever I went, strangeness seemed to follow me. I wasn't quite certain what that was, if there was a target.
I mean, you ended up on this show, so it's still happening.
Oh, yes. You guys had that paranormal flag hanging out of your house, so I figured I'd stop by. But it's like, I don't know. I just, it's strange how things, one thing leads to another. I mean, I just, found some answers in regards to the ghostly stuff, and some more answers in regard to the UFO stuff. And, little did I know that would lead me into a new phenomenon in regards to, we lost him, didn't we?
No, I'm right here.
We lost Mark.
Oh, we lost Mark. Sorry, when anybody says him, I automatically assume they're talking about me. My ego likes to do that. Well, we can carry on without him. He'll come back. He does that sometimes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's sad. Well, hopefully he comes back to life here. But yeah, no. So I totally was looking into all these different things, and then I had something really peculiar happen that landed me into the grasp of shadow people when I saw one accidentally that was following my friend.
Okay, so this was the first time you ever came into contact with one.
Yeah.
And describe the experience, because this is an interesting part of what makes you who you are.
There he is.
We're talking. Excuse us. I would like to know the initial emotions and reactions that you experience when you see this thing for the first time. And are you afraid? Are you intrigued? Are you is it fight or flight? I mean, what are you going through? Do you remember that specifically?
Well, yeah. I mean, because I was, I was probably 20 years old or so, and I was out hanging out with a friend. We went walking along this little path that went through behind the school, and it was broad daylight, and I saw something from my peripheral vision initially, dark, that was jumping from tree to tree and bush to bush, and I'm like, what is going on? My friend is walking ahead of me. She's just talking. I'm like,
how fast was it moving?
It was, it was kind of like, as if you're in a fast moving car and things are just zipping by you, but you saw something and it's black against the green, and I'm like, what? I'm just seeing things, whatever. Keep walking along. And then I got a really good look at it, and I'm like, no freaking way. What the heck is that? We reached our destination, and by the time that we reached the destination, I was freaked out. I didn't say anything to my friend. And then we went to come back from that, the place that we're at our uncle's house, and went to come back, and this darn thing followed us all the way back. And I was just beside myself by the time we reached her house. I'm like, what what on earth, what was that? I was just like, this is just too much. This is just too crazy. And I'm like, okay, I said to her, hey there. I said to her,
how many times are you going to say that?
I said to her, I didn't, I don't know what the heck it is. Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, now
you're just screwing with us. There's no way you're being serious right now.
Is that Mark?
Yeah,
is he there?
I think he's there. I don't think he can hear us, though. It's funny, Heidi? I had this exact same problem last week.
Oh, wow. That's so weird. Oh, so he could...
The shadow people do not want us to talk about this, clearly. I mean, I'm sure you're the one that's doing it.
Right, exactly. I've had issues like that too, and usually I have to reboot my computer and all that to get it to work properly. But I swear, Skype on my cell phone works 10 times better. It's more reliable.
Do you ever find that things like technology will start acting up for you more often than not because of this type of thing that you just talk about so much?
Oh, yeah. It used to be really, really bad for me, actually. Things have calmed down over the years because I've learned how to keep their rotten, good-for-nothing selves away from me. So I don't have to.
We'll get to that a little bit later in the show because that is really interesting. I want to talk about that. But keep going with the story.
Yeah. So, anyways, we got to her house, and I was just like, I was staying on their second floor, by the way, too, and I was just like, I do not know what I saw, but I just saw this thing following us, and so I grab a paper and pen, and I draw quickly what I called it head and shoulder shadow, guys. And I'm like, show it to her, and I'm thinking, oh, she's just going to laugh me out of the room. And she looks at it intently, and she just goes, oh, that guy. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just been following me for years. And I'm just like, what? What are you talking about? And she's like, hey, Dad, look, that thing is back. I don't know what it is.
But to them, it's status quo. It's like, breathing air. They're just used to it. That's so funny.
It was freaky, but I was freaked out. I was freaked out.
Are we going to go through this the whole show? Is he just going to be saying hello every 30 seconds?
I don't think he can hear us.
I don't think he can either. I can't wait till he hears us back. It's going to be great. So they are accustomed to it, and you're sitting there going, you guys, this is not natural. How is this a thing that you are reacting so nonchalantly to?
Yeah, well, I didn't know where that fit in because here I was raised in a haunted house. I've seen UFOs and I've seen ghosts, but this thing was black and huge. I don't know. I just couldn't figure out what the heck I was dealing with. I had no reference point. And I'm like, okay, everybody knows what this is. I have no idea. I needed to grab something from the second floor where I was staying at. And it was like a fixed up attic. There was nothing in the big center part, and my room was at the far end. And it was still broad daylight out. So
Heidi, I'm going to interrupt you really quick here because through the magic of technology, I'm actually having conversations with Mark through texting. I'm just telling everyone how sausage is made. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to take the break early so we can get Mark's things situated and we don't have to be interrupted by him saying hello. And then when we get back, we will continue the story. Thank you so much for tuning in to this very wild hair edition of the TruthFunders Radio Show here on the Inception Radio Network. My name is Art Webb. For Mark Schwartz, we'll be back with Heidi in just a moment. And, and break, MJ. Thank you. Go.
TruthFunders Radio on the Inception Radio Network.
TruthFunders was started as a place to shine a spotlight on paranormal projects. Other big-name crowdfunding sites vary paranormal projects that contain UFO, ghost, Bigfoot, research, documentaries, books, clothes, movies, and more. At TruthFunders, we invite people to not just listen to our show, but interact and do something about it. You can create a project. Yes, you, listening to the radio right now, you can make a difference. Stop dreaming and take action at www.truthfunders.com. Click Create a Project and submit your idea. Or browse the other paranormal initiatives that other brave souls have put their energy into. Support them as they reach into their creative spirit and turn their passion into progress. Each donation you will make, you will receive something in return. From a book to a DVD to a Roswell I-beam and plenty more. You don't have the scratch to donate? Fine. Share anywhere you can, from Facebook to Twitter, or blog about it. That's free and it helps support a community of people that not only want, but need to get the word out. We are not not alone. We are a community. We need to believe in each other as much as we believe that there's more to life than meets the eye. Help support a project on Truth Funders or create your own today at www.truthfunders.com.
Hello, everyone. Lorian Fenton here, host of the California MUFON radio show, asking if you'd like special access to exclusive and amazing information about UFOs, the paranormal, and all things unexplained. If you're nodding yes, then join IRN's Insider Club. As an Insider Club member, you'll get an all-access pass to premier Inception Radio Network content for only $4.99 a month. This includes live UFO and paranormal conferences, live streaming UFO skywatches, exclusive IRN radio and TV productions, and of course, paying radio with MJ and Ken Storch. So don't wait any longer. Visit InceptionRadioNetwork.com and click on Member Login to join IRN's Insider Club and get your VIP access today.
Don't have a computer? Is your internet connection down? Don't worry. Use your trusty cell phone or landline and call into our listen line at 401-283-6700 to listen to the Inception Radio Network 24/7. Again, that call-in number is 401-283-6700. For the Inception Radio Network, I am MJ.
Hello, Inception Radio Network listeners. This is Amanda. Remember, you can take your Inception Radio shows on the go. Just download the Inception Radio Network app for your iPhone, iPad, or Android smartphones and access live shows, past shows, guest lineups, and much more. Just visit the iTunes Store or the Google Play Marketplace and download it today for free. You didn't forget what's coming up tonight, did you? Hi, Inception Radio Network listeners. This is Amanda. Never miss that interview you were looking forward to or the show on your favorite topic. Follow IRN on Twitter, I_R_N, and get reminders about the evening's live shows as well as fun and important updates throughout the week. That's I_R_N, and never miss a great show again.
Listeners, this is MJ saying hello and sharing an awesome secret I discovered. It's called DreamNuage.com. Fresh, raw, organic ingredients are used to create all their products. They are made in very small batches to ensure quality and freshness. Handmade in the USA, each product is created with care and with the finest organic ingredients. There are no preservatives, dyes, or chemicals in any product. Stop by Dream Nuage and relax. That's DreamNuage.com. Simple, raw, organic.
You're locked into Inception Radio Network, Superior, Wisconsin.
TruthFunders Radio on the Inception Radio Network.
All right, you are listening to the live TruthFunders Radio show on the Inception Radio Network. My name is Art Webb. We are joined back by Mark Schwartz. He is now with us. Everything is good to go. I'm actually back at my house now. Like, this whole thing in a very short amount of time has kind of like come together in such a way that we were unable to make happen before the break there. This is, one thing, Mark, about this show is that we tend to every month or so, every 4 weeks or so, we tend to have an episode that is just completely off the rails for just whatever reason. And I mean, whether it's me just being completely high on drugs or any number of other things, like we have to experience these types of shows. And we always say to ourselves, oh, geez, after the show, like, we talk and we'll never be able to like top that, how bad that was. And then every 4 weeks, we just seem to reinvent.
We're dealing with paranormal art. And the second I started bringing up shadow people, I got kicked off the air. So it could definitely have something to do with that, or with the fact that you had just sent me a text of you sweating in the car, which was really disgusting and disturbing, by the way. And that could have also been what threw me off. So both things a little creepy.
Yeah. You were just in that car. But either way, we're talking with Heidi. I want to know more about the shadow people story that you're telling me, because that actually was really fascinating in that this is your first experience with a shadow person. You're losing your mind, and your friends are just like, yeah, it's shadow guy. Leave him alone. He's trying to live his life.
It kind of felt like that, honestly. I was like, "What?" It's just to kind of touch base on it a little bit more. Like I'd seen this thing, didn't know what I was seeing. I confront my friend, like, I don't know what I'm witnessing. Broad daylight, this black thing is jumping around, and she's just like, "Oh, him? Yeah, I don't know. He's been following me since I was a kid." And I'm just like, "What? This is crazy." So I needed to get something from the second floor, and I was staying at my friend's house there, and it's broad daylight. Didn't feel like I had to turn the light switch on to go to the center, to go up to the second floor to get something from the room I was in. So I go up there, go through the big center room that has like no windows or no light bulb or anything on, and then I had to go to the end of this house on the second floor to grab my stuff. I turn around, and there's that big black shadowy mass that I call the head and shoulder shadow that I saw following us, blocking my way out of the room. And you asked, what's that?
So this isn't a situation where you're like trying to keep up with like watching it. It is now just stationarily standing there.
It is standing there. I grabbed something off the bed and turned around to leave the room. And again, there's like natural lighting that's coming into this room. It's those low-lying like attic windows that are, maybe a foot or something.
That you're sitting in right now. Everybody look around at Heidi's girl.
It was that kind of thing. And I'm like, I turn around, I'm just like, that kind of fear. I don't think I've ever felt such fear in all my life, honestly. It was such a guttural moment because this thing, I don't know, 8-10 feet, it was huge, and it was hulking over me, like leaning over me. And all I could say is, I was numb. I was just numb. And I knew somehow that if I ran, this thing was going to get me. If I swung at it, it was going to get me.
And define get you. Like, is it going to, like, I mean, as a shadow entity, I don't understand how it gets...
Well, and I'd like to add to that. It kind of sounds like this is where... J.K. Rowling got the idea for the Dementors in Harry Potter. I don't know if either of you have read Harry Potter, but the Dementors are these.
No, Mark, we're not nerds either. I mean, what are you talking? Of course, we read Harry Potter.
but if, the Dementor sort of is a shadow, strikes fear into people, and people are motionless. They can't move. They're sort of paralyzed. So it sounds. I don't know. I just that came up as we were talking right now.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, it's like, I wonder sometimes when people write some of these other stories out there and they describe something similar to what shadow people do and look like, I wonder if they've experienced something,
Yeah, for sure.
I mean...
Honestly, that's how I feel.
Now, Heidi, I remember, and I don't want to cut you off, but I do remember this episode of Art Bell, and it was like back in 1996 maybe, or 97, where he had a guest on who talked about shadow people. And I don't know if you ever heard this episode, but it was this English woman, and she came on and she talked about them and how it was a real phenomenon, and Art was talking about it a little bit. And so... were you ever a part of that, or did you ever listen to those Art Bell shows back in the day?
Shadow people was a huge topic of conversation regularly on the show. And honestly, speaking from personal experience, I had a very difficult time understanding the difference between shadow people and ghosts for a very long time, because I always felt like it wasn't properly explained, or the time was never really taken to differentiate the differentiate the difference. Wow. To differentiate between the two and what each entity is. So I'm going to take that time now and ask you, Holly, what is the difference between a ghost and a shadow person?
What's the difference? Oh my gosh, it's a huge difference. Like when I was describing that shadow feeling like it was going to get me, I knew without a doubt that this thing, if it could, it would rip my throat out. I felt its hate, and its intention was to kill me. So shadow people are, I don't know, that to the nth degree of darkness. I mean, it's something that absolutely penetrates you when you're in their presence. In the beginning, when I wrote my first book in '97, that was based on the topic of shadow people, and was sending it around trying to get it published by other authors who had publishing companies as well. So it was such a difficult thing to try to get the topic started and launched out there. But it's crazy because as I was doing that, I heard that much later on, that others had referred to these same beings as shadow people. I had never heard anybody mention the word prior to my writing the book or even prior to talking on it, to be honest. So when you said 97, I know that Art in 2001 started speaking on that and on the topic.
Sure,
of shadow.
and it might have been, 2001. Yeah, definitely. I'm not exactly sure when. When you listen to the old reruns, especially, it's some of the dates get all jumbled.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did you ever listen to that English woman? I wonder what her name was. I'm sure I'd be able to.
I did not. I did not hear it. I really did not. I need to go back and listen to it. I just wasn't staying up late enough at the time. I was a college student, suffering.
Yeah,
Well,
me too.
You weren't in. You were on the. Where are you located exactly?
I'm in Chicago.
Here in California, he was on from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Much different time.
Yeah. Here is midnight to 4 or 5 in the morning. It's like new.
By the way, I'm a sucker for Midwestern accents. That's just hands down.
We're going to start a bit on the show called "I'm a Sucker For," and it is the moment that Mark Schwartz says, "I'm a sucker for whatever it is." Everybody takes a shot, or they take a hit, or they take a bite, whatever it is. It's the new game because every single episode, Mark says, "I'm a sucker for," followed by any number of things. I've been keeping track of this pattern actually for a few weeks now, and I've been meaning to bring that up, and without fail, of course, he does it. So everybody keeps that in mind. I'm going to build an alarm that will play. Actually, hey, if the sound effects department that took care of our breaking news last time could try and hit that sounder for the "I'm a sucker for" bit every week, that would be great. Thank you, news department. Okay, back to the show.
Oh my goodness, man! But I didn't get to. I forgot to finish what you were saying. You were asking about the difference between the two. Like when I first started going out there and talking about shadow people, I was being mocked and laughed at, saying shadow people, whatever. Isn't that from what was it, Babylon 5 or something called Shadows? And what? No, it's it was so difficult. And then I got a bunch of ghost hunters that were telling me, oh, they're just the shadows of ghosts, I'm like, no, they're not. And it was interesting to watch over the years how these paranormal investigators and whatnot were getting back to me and saying, okay, so I experienced a shadow person, and OMG, that is no ghost. And I'm like, I know that. And they also have a very, very, very deep connection to aliens. So, oftentimes, there's been
news to me. I had no idea that the two were. Are they linked or are they connected, or is that the same thing? I guess.
You know what? I always, from the start, spoke of them as being from another place. So, not being anything that's from this realm, even.
And is that transdimensional?
No, they literally come from another place, another planet.
Wow.
Yeah, and
can't be in this solar system, can it?
I really wouldn't know. I really wouldn't know.
You're the expert. We have you on to talk about these things, so I'm gonna.
Yes, but it's funny because I came at it from a total different perspective, as not a ghost hunter or anything like that, but as somebody who's experiencing them, but who had seen UFOs and aliens as well. And then lo and behold, right after seeing some aliens, shadow people came in. And I'm like, what's my life? What is my life? This is crazy.
What
I'm like,
is my life?
You just didn't have a choice. I mean, this is the way it was going to go, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, it was bizarre. And, me and my college roommate, we're just living this. And we're like, this is nuts. We just couldn't figure it out. And, it's, oh my gosh, it gets really strange because, my college roommate, she's Pentecostal, super religious. And, she's going to move in. And I'm just like, well, just so you know, I see weird little things coming through my apartment all the time. Don't know what to tell you. And she's like, I've got God on my side. They won't bother me, type of thing, and preaching at me. I'm like, well, okay, then just go ahead and you can move in, but you were warned. And it took some time, and I think we'd lived in the same place for maybe a year or something. She saw odd things here and there, and she was an extraordinary artist. And she would draw the things that she'd see. She's like, oh my God, I see this. I'm like, and what do you think that is? I don't know. It's probably a demon of yours. Well, okay, whatever. And then this is straight up, this is what happened. She was driving to her college through downtown. I lived in Milwaukee at the time. And in broad daylight, something jumped on the hood of her car and shoved its head through her windshield.
What the fuck? Like, literally shattered the windshield?
Not shattered. She said it was kind of a gelatinous, sparkly gel-looking creature.
Like ectoplasm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just moved through it because they can do that, these things. Wow.
I suppose so. But this thing does that, and the craziest thing, she said, when she got to her college, she called me in a panic, like, oh my God, I can't believe this alien jumped in. I'm like, what? And she said it was so weird. This thing,
I'm sorry. That's just the experience of having the super religious girl call you and say an alien just came to my car. Like, that has to be such a fuck. Sorry.
It really was. I mean, especially for her, because she was so anti, don't talk to me about that kind of crap, and you and your nutty friends, because I had joined a group of people who they were alien abductees. I'd seen UFOs. I had not been abducted, and still have not, thank God. But
he's an alien. I don't know if you know that or not, but he is.
Oh.
I feel that, actually. Sometimes I think that I am. I've had those thoughts.
Oh, there you go. Hey, you're among family and friends. So it's all
right?
Good. It's all good. But so this thing started talking to her after it shoved its head through the windshield, and she said it was strange. She said when it was talking, she said, when your mouth gets numb at the dentist? And I'm like, yeah? She's like, my jaw went numb, and it started snapping up and down, and it was talking through me using my own mouth and voice.
Oh, man, that's not cool. Like, you just don't do that, with this personal space, like, we have issues that we have here in this country, and you don't do that. It's just
It was a little bit invasive, and, I'm listening to her tell me this, and I'm like, what am I, this is crazy. I'm like, hold on, is she making fun of me? And then she started crying, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, do you want me to come pick you up from your school? I mean, what's going on? And she's like, no. She's like, it wasn't scaring me. It had a really calming feeling to it. I'm like, okay, well, let's meet up and talk about this later on, and met up, and lo and behold, things went to a different level when this other entity started talking through her, and all I could say is I was just beside myself. We're sitting in my car, sitting at Lake Michigan, just chatting. I'm like, so an alien jumped in the hood of your car? What? And then she's like, I feel like something is, I need to meditate or something right now. And I'm like
still inside of her, like it had left like residuals.
Like something was different with her, and she had a very thick Spanish accent, and she closed her eyes for a second while I'm sitting there talking to her, and her accent reduced, and she just, kind of straightened herself up, and she's like, hello, I've been waiting to speak to you for a very long time. She says this to me, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? You've been waiting to speak to me for a very long time? And I'm like, I'm asking, like, Samantha, you okay? And she's like, oh, this is not Samantha. I'm like, oh, really? No, this isn't Samantha. And I said, no, I'm what you would call an alien. And I'm just, again, I'm sitting here staring at my friend, and this is going on. Kind of to fast forward it a little bit. So I essentially asked this entity, I try to play along and listen to this thing and what's going on with this. And I said, well, can you show yourself? I'm like, you're an alien. Where's your ship? Oh, no, we cannot come down lower like we used to because your government can shoot us out of the sky now. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, so what can you do? And he's like, well, sometimes we can project ourselves. I'm like, well, project away, Mr. Alien. And I am not kidding you. Like, the car kind of filled with a warm, like, hum. And between us in the car formed this pinkish, fleshy colored being. And it was out of focus, but I saw it all right. And I was ready to hop out of the car. And I'm like, oh my God, I see something. And then I said, oh, but it's not really clear. And it said, well, that can't be helped because you have weak human eyes. So I was just done. I was like, what? I got an insult for being human. So again, it's a fast forward a little bit because it's just so much. But this is a story that's written of in my book, The Secret War, the first book written on shadow people. So I had been experiencing these shadowy entities in my apartment. And in comes this being talking through my overly religious friend, and not knowing exactly what's going on with all of that. This being started making himself regularly available, talking through my friend, who was totally floored about what was going on in her life, because she's like, what am I doing? I'm channeling? She's like, I'm not going to call this thing channeling. I was meditating and something barged its way in. So it was kind of a strange situation, but it was through this being that I got a better understanding about what it was that I was experiencing, myself and my college roommate, with these dark shadow beings coming through and what they were trying to do. So
it's so intense. It's and do you feel that they're still with you? Like, now that you are on air and you have a show and you talk about it and it's part of your life, do you feel like things can still manifest, or do you still have experiences, or has it calmed down since you sort of brought it to light and brought it to the public's eye?
Oh gosh. Interesting enough, when I was trying to gather the information for the book, the being asked me that I put it together in a book, that it needed to be said. People needed to know what was going on, this phenomenon with these shadow beings in particular. It was his whole reason for showing up. So things were really intense, but he told me don't talk about it, and the intensity will be less. And so I couldn't talk about it until the book was out. Second that book came out, things were going more through the roof, but he had told me how to keep them at bay. So it wasn't so god-awful for me. And it's honestly been much more reduced. I don't have these things barging into my place. I've had them pick me up and try to drag me through the ceiling once. I mean, they're horrible things.
And do you think that this all stems from because you lived in a haunted house, and so you are in touch with it a little bit more than other people would have? Like, you grew up with it, so you are in tune with it more?
You know what? I think from the very beginning that I think that my soul, it's not like it's better or special, nothing like that. I think that
I completely understand.
Has like a little bit of a destiny, that's instilled in them. And I think these beings knew that I wouldn't be shy about sharing about some of the things that I've seen over the years. I mean, growing up, I'd had lots of visits to a heaven-like place. I don't know if it was because I had severe seizures as a kid and they didn't think I'd live very long. And I don't know. I had outright memories of a heaven-like place and seen angelic things and had dreams that would kind of show me things that were about to happen. And then I would get these, I don't know it's not like deja vu. It's like I would get a little fast forward to be able to see what's about to happen next.
It's really interesting that you bring that up, Heidi. In fact, Art and I, when we went out for breakfast over the weekend, or brunch, we were talking a little bit about that. Art has crazy night terrors. I mean, he has them worse than anybody else. His wife was telling me that he will get up and he'll just do things and be almost somebody else for an entire night, like drive places and do things completely asleep and not be there. And for me, wow. I've had some really crazy experiences as well, specifically with my dreams, where my dreams feel like they are way beyond a dream. I mean, it feels literally real. An example of that was, it must have been 2 or 3 months ago. I dreamt, and in my dream, I was time traveling, and it was real. It wasn't like I was sleeping and it was a normal dream. It was like I was transported and I was somewhere, and I started talking to somebody, and I said to him, wait, I am not in the future. I did not time travel. There's no way that I could do that. And he said to me, yes, you did time travel and you are in the future right now. I said back to him, oh yeah, well, how does time travel happen? And he said, well, it all started back in around the year 2017 when they started working with the oh gosh, no, the Google Cloud9 engine. That's what he told me. Now I'm a computer nerd, and I do all sorts of stuff, and I work with technology all the time, and I had never ever heard of a Google Cloud9 engine. So I suddenly wake up. I feel like I'm like sucked back through a tunnel, and I wake up, and I think to myself, Google Cloud9 engine. Just remember that. Just think about that. So the next morning, I wake up, and the first thing I do, I go to the computer and I type in Google Cloud9 engine. And sure enough, there's a something that's a Google Cloud9 engine. It showed up in my Google search at the top, and right underneath it was a video for a band called Cloud9, and the name of the song for their video was called Time Travel, which was crazy. And to me, like, there's some little jumps that we have, or some. Yeah. I mean, there's some people I think are connected and do have that.
Right.
And though I've seen UFOs, I have not seen aliens. I don't think I've been abducted. But the manifestation, like it's must be really strong with you if you're able to think about it and they show up or they appear. Because there have been times where I've thought about it and like, come on, bring it on, and nothing happens. But then I also wonder if that's because I don't really want it, or don't really. I keep a bubble of light over me while I do it, to try to like keep myself safe.
Yes, exactly, because you sure do not want to be abducted.
Right.
I mean, if you want to be thrown to the pits of hell, that's essentially what you're asking to have happen to you. I'm like, there's so many people I've met that's like, oh, I just want to see aliens. I want to be abducted. I want to. I'm like, it doesn't make you special. It doesn't make you great. They'll just use you like a piece of meat, check some things out, abuse you, and drop you off. And then you'll have post-traumatic stress disorder, and you won't know why. So.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be abducted. I don't even want to see aliens, but I am so curious about UFOs. It's almost like three separate things to me. And seeing this bizarre crafts in the sky is something that I am fascinated with, just because I've seen them in plain as day,
Right. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I love spotting UFOs more than anything. I think it's like majestic.
It is, absolutely. And how often do you feel like you see them?
Oh, you mean UFOs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, now that I'm in Chicago, I don't see anything over here. I don't usually see anything in this big city. I mean, the lights and all. You really don't see anything. When I lived in Milwaukee, there's a place called Dundee, Wisconsin, where just so many sightings there. It's like every time I would go there would be something in the sky that wasn't quite right. I've seen the most beautiful UFOs over there, actually, too. But and then living in the city over there was more difficult to see at night as well. But but I've seen so many, but I've seen a lot of different alien beings though too. I lost track how many different ones, but it's been interesting how things have shifted in my life where that was a big focus at one point. And I feel like I was kind of led down this path. It's like ghosts, UFOs, aliens, shadow people, Hat Man, Jesus encounters. And it's like, what? It's all kind of coming to this culmination of good versus evil, bringing me back to the church pews of when I was a child, like, what? I turned my back on this stuff. This is why, a lot of people think, oh, did we lose Heidi, the paranormal lady, to the church or something? It's like, I'm not a Bible thumper. I don't go to church on Sundays, but I do consider myself to be a Christian author of a sort. And the only thing that works in the face of these things that are negative is one's faith, honestly. And myself being Christian, in the name of Jesus, for things to work. And it's like, it's not about becoming a religious freak or anything, but it's having that faith and that knowing, no doubts behind where you stand in facing these negative things. Because these things, they will look for a crack in you to get at you. And this is what drives me to do what I do, because I see too many people that are just bending knees like, oh my gosh, these things are more powerful than I am. And I'm like, no, if they were strong and, could beat all, they would have done it already. But obviously they can't. They're sitting there looking at you, staring at you, choking you, trying to get you to submit and then beat your spirit down.
Yeah, and do you think so you obviously have the strength, right? You have the strength to fight it, whatever it might be. And, you think maybe it's that soul, maybe it's something. But I think that there are natural warriors, spiritual warriors, if you will. And so have you ever done a past life regression or thought about that, or do you have thoughts about that? Is it something that you'd ever want to do, or is there like a future life regression? That would be cool, huh?
Right. Oh man, gosh. I would so love to do it. I really would love to. I have memories of things, but they're flashes of things here and there, and I've always kind of been I don't know. It's like, I feel like if I'm meant to know it, if it's supposed to be beneficial, it'll come to me. And I can't meditate without falling asleep. I'm not good at that stuff. But it's odd how I just sometimes get these little trickles of images and memories. I mean, outright memories that will just hit me. And I'm like, what? I mean, that makes no sense to me. But I don't doubt it, because it's like, these memories are a part of my life experiences, and I use them to help myself and others, hopefully, in the right ways. So it's like, I don't doubt what comes my way and why it comes my way. I just try to find a way to interpret it and hope that I could make a good joke of it and funnel it out to the people to see, look, this could really be beneficial for all of us to know and find better ways. So.
Absolutely, and we're about to head to break, but I just want to say that I think you are absolutely doing that. Going to YouTube, if you look for Heidi's stuff, you can see her answering, people's emails. A lot of people reach out to you regarding strange dreams or strange experiences they have, and I think one of the things that you do and why you are so successful in the world of the paranormal is because you help, and that is just hands down, one of the things that is good, is light, and is wonderful about you.
Oh,
so, and with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Heidi a little bit more about the supernatural alien experiences. We'll answer some of your questions from the chat room. You can also call in to ask Heidi any questions you want at 888-919-2355. And last but not least, we will also be discussing some upcoming projects and maybe some TruthFunders projects with Heidi Hollis. So we'll be right back after the break.
TruthFunders Radio on the Inception Radio Network.
TruthFunders was started as a place to shine a spotlight on paranormal projects. Other big-name crowdfunding sites vary paranormal projects that contain UFO...
Hello, everyone. Lorian Fenton here, host of the California MUFON radio show, asking if you'd like special access to exclusive and amazing information about UFOs, the paranormal, and all things unexplained. If you're nodding yes, then join IRN's Insider Club. As an Insider Club member, you'll get an all-access pass to premier Inception Radio Network content for only $4.99 a month. This includes live UFO and paranormal conferences, live streaming UFO skywatches, exclusive IRN radio and TV productions, and of course, paying radio with MJ and Ken Storch. So don't wait any longer. Visit InceptionRadioNetwork.com and click on Member Login to join IRN's Insider Club and get your VIP access today.
Don't have a computer? Is your internet connection down? Don't worry. Use your trusty cell phone or landline and call into our listen line at 401-283-6700 to listen to the Inception Radio Network 24/7. Again, that call-in number is 401-283-6700. For the Inception Radio Network, I am MJ.
Hello, Inception Radio Network listeners. This is Amanda. Remember, you can take your Inception Radio shows on the go. Just download the Inception Radio Network app for your iPhone, iPad, or Android smartphones and access live shows, past shows, guest lineups, and much more. Just visit the iTunes Store or the Google Play Marketplace and download it today for free. You didn't forget what's coming up tonight, did you? Hi, Inception Radio Network listeners. This is Amanda. Never miss that interview you were looking forward to or the show on your favorite topic. Follow IRN on Twitter, I_R_N, and get reminders about the evening's live shows as well as fun and important updates throughout the week. That's I_R_N, and never miss a great show again.
Hello, IRN listeners. This is MJ saying hello and sharing an awesome secret I discovered. It's called DreamNuage.com. Fresh, raw, organic ingredients are used to create all their products. They are made in very small batches to ensure quality and freshness. Handmade in the USA, each product is created with care and with the finest organic ingredients. There are no preservatives, dyes, or chemicals in any product. Stop by Dream Nuage and relax. That's DreamNuage.com. Simple, raw, organic.
You're locked into Inception Radio Network, Superior, Wisconsin.
TruthFunders Radio on the Inception Radio Network.
Welcome back to the TruthFunders live radio show here on the Inception Radio Network. My name is Webb. I'm joined by Mark Schwartz. We're talking, actually, my feed dropped out, unfortunately, during the last half of that segment. So I don't really know what the hell you...
Wow, it's happening again. Art, did we lose you into the abyss? Wow. So people, just so you know,
right
we're talking.
Oh,
there he is. We're talking about there's some ghosts that have entered the machine. So for those of you who listen to our show, we had Suspicious Observer on, and if you've seen his YouTube videos,
observers is plural. It's nasty.
Yes, but I'm talking about him specifically. So he'd be an observer. Right?
He goes by specific observer. I think he just goes by Suspicious Observers. Whatever. We're splitting hairs. Keep going.
And during the break, MJ was saying that on Suspicious Observers, this morning, every single morning, he talks about solar flares, what's going on in the Earth, how it's going to affect us. What's that?
Space weather.
Space weather. Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently, there's a ton of solar flares happening with the sun today, like a crazy amount, and we think maybe that's what's affecting all the electronic equipment that Art and I are working on. We're working on two different sides of the state of California, and it's either, as MJ said, the drought that's affecting us, or those crazy solar flares.
Could be.
Well, I mean, you live up there in Silicon Valley. You guys just, I operate under the impression that you just stole all of our internet. You just pirate all
Do you hear that? It's like you're drunk.
Get all that stuff running up there.
Yeah, well, maybe we did steal all your internet.
I like the special effects.
Yeah, right.
That sounded
What special
pretty
effect?
cool.
What are you talking about? I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. What, did you hear something?
Yes, we did.
What did you hear? Seriously, what was it?
It sounded like your speech was slowing down and getting slower and slower.
Digital? It was like a digital warble.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was perfect. Perfect timing.
Fascinating.
So
it's all shadow people.
It is.
Wow. See, the second he says it, it happens again.
It does.
I think there's a ghost in the machine. That's what's happening.
That's hilarious.
Am I being ghost raped right now? Not even knowing?
Yep.
You are. But here's the thing: is I think you hear us laughing about it and making fun of it and whatever, and that's what keeps things at bay, right? Like going to bed watching comedy movies instead of like a horror flick before you go to sleep. That kind of helps to keep things. At least I feel it helps to keep the light around me and keep things kind of at a distance. Do you feel that way, Heidi, or is that something that you've noticed?
Well, and that's something we touched on at the beginning of the show too, is how she keeps like these things away from her. So I did want to get into that.
Yeah, actually, keeping things positive, light. it's really anything that's uplifting. It does, they don't like that. They don't like that sort of thing. So yeah, it does help. I love that. I saw this one little snippet of this lady who got diagnosed with some horrific cancer. And she's like, I made it a point that absolutely everything that I ever watched on TV or at the movies was a comedy. I laughed all day long. And she beat the cancer, And I'm like, way to go. It makes sense. Keep your spirits high,
I agree. I'm in complete agreement with that statement. I think that's really true.
Oh. So I think it does definitely help. And you're asking how to keep them away. Again, I'm very much about putting your ethereal foot down and in the backside of darkness. So keep things positive. Put your faith out there. Have no doubts in yourself, in your faith as well, and standing in the face of these dark things. Because I don't think that we can take them on one at a time. We can't take them on.
They clearly have a lot of power that we don't possess, or just abilities to circumvent and navigate the physical world around us in ways that we don't understand. So we would not be capable to go up against them, really.
Well, but we're not to back down, though, either. If they come at us like a thief in the...
absolutely not.
Yeah, they come at us like a thief in the night, because why don't they come to us when we're standing upright, as a full-fledged human being? No, they usually come when you're knocked down, sleeping, sick, whatever, depressed, and then they try to take advantage. It's because they don't have that power as much as we think that they do. But still...
and they're in a weakened state. We're in a weakened state.
We're in a weakened state, and then those little thieves of the knife come. Hey, I'm coming to steal your soul. Dude, I was sleeping. Of course, you could probably get a better grip on me while I'm sleeping. It's like, but it's important when you do roll over and you see their rotten, good for nothing selves sitting there. Don't think you could go swinging at them and be like, come on, no. Put your call on your faith, God, whatever you feel is positive to you. To me, it's Jesus and God, and just be like, I'm putting that power in front of me to push you out, because it could be an outright battle, and I've had people be thrown across the room because they went at them the wrong way. So you definitely gotta be careful.
So Heidi, I have a good friend, and he recently moved into a new place, and he told me, hey, Mark, there's this, I was walking in my house, and there was this shadow, and it, walked around, and it dipped, it was in the hallway, and then it disappeared, and it was it's playing hide and seek with me. And, I just got chills just talking about this. This is the first time I've ever talked to anybody about what he talked to me about.
Yeah.
This is a couple weeks ago, he said this. And he said that he decided, which we all know that this is a really bad idea, and I told him to please throw this away, and he did, but he wound up getting out his Ouija board with a friend, and trying to see what was going on, and then he started.
Those Ouija boards are bad news, man.
Really awful.
Yeah, and then he started seeing it more and more, and so. He freaked out a little bit. He said he burned the Ouija board.
Oh, gosh, that was the worst thing to do with it. Why did he just draw a pentagram on the floor?
Right? It's just ugh. So, and I haven't talked to him since he kind of filled me in on what was going on, and he was kind of he did what I asked him to do after the fact. He did all this stuff.
Yeah.
But he, I'm not a professional. I don't know. All I know is from the stuff that I've heard, and I think I know a little bit more, or I definitely know better than he does.
Toys. I mean, if there's anything anybody walks away from the show with tonight, other than we're a bunch of raving lunatics, Ouija boards are not toys. They're not.
No. I don't care.
Even though Hasbro makes them in pink.
Yeah, right? That's sick.
It's crazy. It's and I don't know if it's the Ouija board itself or the intention behind it. There's a couple different theories of both, but it's either way, you're kind of playing with stuff. So what advice would you give to this guy who is kind of he's done this at this point? Is there anything that he can do? Can he get this thing out?
Yes, he sure can. But I hope that he hasn't been, tossed out on his ear by this thing by now, that he went and did all that. Bless his house. He needs to bless his house, not calling up the local pastor or priest. He needs to do this in broad daylight and go corner to corner and bless that house, get the closets, get the cabinets too, and show this thing the door, because it's not something that he should toy with at all. Don't talk to it. It's there for no good reason. Even I have a problem with ghosts too. Like, I have so many people like, oh, it's a friendly ghost. It's only pushed me once. Oh, come on. It's not meant to be there. What God do you know would turn you away if you were a good person? Just because they died doesn't mean that they're good.
Because Casper was a kid doesn't mean he was a good kid.
Right. It's like, come on now. It's just so silly. I just, it's not paying the rent, get it out. All right? That's it. The end.
It's not paying the rent, get it out. I love that. Kick it out.
Exactly. And Mark, I have to say, what we talked about in the break, you were telling me about your flashing forward into the future and all these different things, and I wanted to share.
Or you guys talking about something during the break that you should bring up on the air? Good.
Yeah, just briefly, because it was really, it just like a light went off in my head, like, and that's why I'm in touch with these guys. I mean, really, you're somebody special. I mean, a warrior of sorts too. I think that there's a time that's happening right now where more and more people who are in touch with these different abilities and awarenesses and things going on. It's so needed, and dark things see you clearer than the next person, so you're a bigger target, including you, Art. Than the next person.
You have no idea. I mean, you and I should talk one day. You have no idea. Like,
truly, I mean, you got to be on your P's and Q's, because one of the things why I couldn't understand what made all this focus of these negative things to come at me. So when I hear a lot of negativities going after a person, I'm like, well, you must be one hell of a prize that they're fighting so hard to get you. Something is going on. So take it as a compliment, but also take it as a sign that you need to, increase your enforcement to keep these things away. So
for sure.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So dream-wise, like I was telling you a little bit about it in the break, but I've had several dreams regarding an alien war. And it goes further and further. Like, every single dream, it's a continuation. Like, it continues to go. It's really bizarre, and I'm not going to get onto it. Maybe another time on the air, if people want to hear it, I'll do it. But today the show is about you, so I don't want to talk about myself.
Mark, believe it or not, the first book, The Secret War, is talking about the alien war. I've seen it too.
It's nuts, and it was a lot. It was a lot of colors that I was seeing. People were divided by the color of the shirt they were wearing. Like, that was really evident in these dreams that I had. It was like green and red, two colors that people were doing, and it had a lot of, like, it sounds like Han Solo shit, but like running up into the hills of, like, Montana, and I've only been there once before in my life, but it was like running up into the mountains, bringing people, like, we have to go this way, and helping people get to, like, secure safety areas and crazy stuff. Yeah, it's nuts. We'll totally chat offline.
Not crazy stuff. There are a lot of people having these memories come forward. I've had many, and the book, The Secret War, that I wrote talks about the alien war and the static that's going on currently, and how people are living these double lives when they go to sleep. They're fulfilling their role to do these things.
Hold the phone. I have to stop you right there. This is important. Okay. I know nothing about the alien war. This is all brand new news. So this is something that, as I'm sure there are other listeners who might not be as familiar with it as well. Just in a nutshell, tell me about the secret alien war and what it is, and then please continue to tell me more about the sleep things, because I actually suffer from very severe sleep problems. And
I was telling Heidi about them. And you must have fallen off the air, but yeah, I was telling her all about the crazy night terrors.
It's insane, like, the things that I do in my sleep. So okay, please.
Art wakes up screaming a lot in his sleep. Anyways, I know that because his wife told me. That's why.
It's the premonition.
Yeah. Well, the secret war, the alien war that is going on, I felt like I was sitting in the middle of it because I would see these black shadowy things coming at me, trying to choke me or whatever, and seeing balls of light literally attack them, send them on their way. I'm like, what is going on? Now, that alien being that started speaking through my friend started to explain to me and my friend about this battle that's going on, essentially over this planet in particular, and others. That the thing that links all of these different alien beings that are coming here to this planet, abducting, abusing people, are the shadow people. So it runs rather deep with what they're doing and how their strings are attached, but you could essentially call them the puppeteers. But there's a whole other side that doesn't get on the movies and whatnot, the more positive side that talks about there being the one God and how they work for him and how they're trying to stave off and beat off this negative force, and that there's a war, a secret war that's going on, and it's happening in the individual bedrooms of individuals. There, everybody thinks there's going to be chariots in the sky and, this is going to come down where we're all going to see this war coming. It started. And it's in the bedroom of the guy that's saying, oh, my God, you wouldn't believe what happened to me last night. And they're being laughed at, and no one is taking it seriously. And I'm like, and there goes another warrior that went down because they are alone and they're isolated.
What are we physically, like, I mean, can you begin to explain, like, what it is that's happening when we fall asleep? Like, I mean, step by step, like, what is it we're doing and how are we not dying?
How are we not dying as far as these beings?
Are we fighting a war as warriors? Like, what?
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's a very spiritual war. We don't need these bodies to get around to do what we're doing. And
I know that was a stupid question I asked. I immediately regretted it.
No, that's okay. No, I see what you're saying, because it's like, how do we jump from one thing to the next? But it goes on. It's happening. I don't have the answers exactly about all the ins and outs of it, but so many people are coming back with these memories, and they're like, I feel like I was fighting all night long, and I'm like, I know what you're talking about. You're exhausted, aren't you?
So like, okay. Yes. Okay. Here's the thing. I mean, I don't have any recollection ever of what happens to me in my sleep. Like, I do not. There's never been a night where I've remembered like any of the experiences that I go through. But I cry. Not do I cry? I sob. I bawl in my sleep for hours. I talk about things that I have no knowledge of.
Yeah, so Art's wife was telling me that Art was
about robots a lot.
Yeah, Art was talking about robots. She said that he knows nothing about like building things and robots, but he was explaining how to like build robots and how to put them together and stuff like that in his sleep.
Oh, I have goosebumps from head to toe. You have no idea. You guys, we so need to talk. You're talking about things that go way deep, that their heads will roll because they don't understand. But I would recommend check out my book, The Secret War. I
totally will.
That might help explain some of the stuff.
In the library have it, you think?
Well, you know what? I made it only as an ebook right now, the newer version.
Oh, I can get it online. It's even better.
Yes, yeah, on Amazon. The printed book, I took out some of the odder elements that people could not quite relate to because I just wanted to get the message across.
Odder elements, like sea otters, or did you say
odd? More odd.
Otter. ODDR. Sorry.
More odd, yeah, because I just wanted to make sure people were getting the point instead of dwelling on these little bits that I know they won't get, and it doesn't matter. So, but you both would.
Yeah, it's and part of that, it's like your calling in a lot of ways. Like, I'm sure you have a full-time job. I have a full-time job. We do things that are not just the paranormal, but there's some passion in me that says, okay, I need to make this paranormal website like a Kickstarter to help people finance the projects so that they need to get done, because there's a lot of people out there that do believe and are trying to get things out there, whether it's research or books or, so this project, TruthFunders, came into existence out of that passion, and I work on it all the time. But but I still have that full-time job, but I still do this full-time as well. I mean, it's a real company, it's a real LLC, it's legal, tender, all that stuff. And when I called Art to host the show, it was like, sometimes it's synchronistic where all the right people at all the right times. And Art and I sort of we met via email, just kind of talking back and forth to each other, and it was just like it just happened to be that a year and a half after we became friends, I said, "Hey, I need somebody to host this radio show for us." And Art has all this experience, and not only does he have all the radio experience, but he is, he's in touch with it, with the paranormal side and the strangeness that it is, and his wife is too. So like. To be able to connect with someone and bring this to life, I feel like this is part of that inner battle or something that I'm supposed to be doing, and that it will work. It will work. Eventually, all this stuff will all come together,
Oh, yeah. It's such a project of passion, what you guys are doing, and I get that. It's like something that burns in you, that sometimes when you sit alone in a room with it, you feel like, I think I have the energy to crawl up the wall. I really do. Because
Totally. I couldn't sleep when I had this idea.
Yeah,
I could not sleep. It was like, I need to do this.
Yeah.
I need to do it. I need to do it. And the fact that it got to a point now where it's actually live and active is beyond me. Like
awesome.
It's just, you do it and you make it happen.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing because a lot of people think, I don't know why.
By the way, hold on. I want to interject very quickly and say,
Yeah.
and IRN was smart enough to give you and I a radio show together. We are dealing with some very, very high intellect people here. Emphasis on the word high for putting us on the air.
I hear you. I was just going to say, I don't know why people think that this is a field that people go into to get rich. You do not. You put more into it than you'll ever get out of it.
Wait a minute. Whoever said that? Nobody has ever said that in their entire lives.
But you get so many more rewards, though, from the inside out. And when something is driving you that is from other worldly things, but it's a part of your soul. It's like you have no control but to keep moving forward with it, and you enjoy every minute of it. So I understand.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit about that last night, Heidi, on the phone.
Yeah.
It's like, we do this out of the love and the passion, and it was really interesting. There was on Art Gab, or Bell Gab, Art Bell's fan page, there was someone said something about...
I want there to be an Art Web fan page called Art Gab.
There was a page about TruthFunders.
Mm-hmm.
And they started writing about it, and someone said, "Hey, I really want to make this happen. Like this project, has anybody heard of TruthFunders?" And some people talked about it and said, "Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah, they're rad." And then someone like, "Oh, maybe I think they're just trying to, make a profit off of paranormal stuff." And it's like, it would be so amazing to be self-sufficient off of this.
Paranormal? I don't understand this. Where is this all of a sudden coming from that you can make money in the paranormal world? Is it a true thing?
Well, no, it's like this. People think, Art, that if you make any money doing anything in the paranormal world, if you just make anything, like at all, if you make a living off of it, if you make a side off of it, there are some people who think that, they're just doing it for the money. They're not real.
There are, I don't know honestly, but maybe one or two authors that make a living doing this. Nobody does. Nobody
Art
does.
Bell is the only person that successfully turned it into a viably commercialized product, and as a result made a very good living off of it. But he did it in such a quality way that it was very clear he wasn't doing it for the money. Right.
He did it out of passion too. Honestly, he started it right where we're all sitting, So I understand it. It's really a passion driven thing, and I don't know why people are afraid of, you're just making money. If you really want to help people, why don't you give all your books for free? I'm like, why don't you go work for me and pass me your paycheck? It's
totally true. It's why should you do work for nothing? That's like saying, okay, well, yeah, why don't you write this whole entire novel and then, not feel that you need to be compensated for it?
Well,
I mean, where does that make logic? Where is that sense?
And then in the entertainment industry, especially, like, that is such an exploited aspect on kids. Like, it's sick, sad, and like disgusting the way that the business feeds off of young kids that want to break into it by essentially turning them into slaves. Like, I've seen unspeakable like treatings of people, and it's wrong. It's so wrong.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thank goodness.
Yeah. So can we be expecting a Truth Funders project from you pretty soon, Heidi?
I have a couple of them that I would love to see get completed. I sent you the trailer to a film that myself and another guy helped fund, and it was. We were doing a documentary on top of, a regular film project, paranormal film project. And I am not kidding you when I say, hey, this is all filmed on HD quality stuff. And
money.
Fantastic editors, that worked on Lord of the Rings and whatever were working for us. And one by one, they quit because paranormal things were happening to them, to the actors, to the writers. Everybody was getting freaked out, and they walked away from the project. And the film, we had several digital copies of, they all got distorted in so many different areas from each copy that we could not piece it together to complete the film. That's a story in itself.
That's a film that did not want to get made, or for whatever reason, the universe didn't want that film being made.
The trailer looks amazing, by the way. So I watched it, and sometimes you see something in independent film, and you're like, okay, whatever. But the way this is shot, it's really beautiful, and it looks great. I mean, it really does. And I just went ahead and posted the trailer up in the chat room so that anybody that is in the chat room can go ahead and watch the trailer. We will also post that on the Truth Funders Facebook page.
Yes, and I also have another project that I would love to see get complete because, like I was saying, how do you defend yourself against some of this darkness that's coming is light stuff. So I have another project that I would like to get done sooner than later, sooner than the film, is theotherfword.com. I think that people are lacking their faith. And
the front too, by the way. Oh, face.
I'm a cartoonist and as well. So I did a graphic novel that, is to help kids to try to, get back to their faith a bit, but it's really wacky.
Yeah, we all got to hang.
A lot of
you're awesome. That's awesome. That's a great idea.
A lot of toilet humor, and they're also looking into the paranormal and why do we have to have any faith behind this type of thing. But really, it's going to be really wide based. And I decided, I drew this book. It's 225 pages and a whole bunch of comics, like 180 comics in there, and I was only hearing back from adults that were just cracking up saying how they loved the book. So I'm like, I'm going to do one for adults. So I did. Drew it all out.
Is a bunch of children.
Yeah, I drew it all out, wrote it. It's ready to go. And because of my background in the paranormal, faith-based publishers don't want to have anything to do with it. So I need to get that funded so I could get it out there sooner than later. And get this, the cartoon element of it, there's been some hints and a little interest to have that made into an actual cartoon.
Animation, like we're talking about.
Yes.
Moving cells. That's of course it would be. Why wouldn't it?
Yes, and I'm like, I am not an animator. I love to write, and I think I'm good at it. But it would be nice to see it come to life, and get a demo and maybe get to present it to somebody. And I think it's a cleaner version of Family Guy. Let's put it that way. But adding the paranormal elements and to try to spell out some of that stuff
going on behind, like the character. Like Family Guy has nothing going on behind that surface level. This is all depth behind there, so it's a very different show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I mean, so any kind of support, connections, anything would be. So
yeah, well, we will totally, and I'll get together.
Here's the thing: if you need anything creative, like people for anything, call Mark. He's got an army of them ready to go.
Yeah, it's all the years in the entertainment industry, and a whole bunch of friends that I've made along the way, and also with your book, we would love to make a Truth Funders campaign with that and the movie as well. So you and I will definitely be in touch this week. And what we'll do is we'll have you back on the show once the projects are up, and you could talk a little bit more about them on those days. I think they're stellar projects. And I feel like we've met a kindred spirit today. Like we totally need to all get together and talk on the phone at the same time.
Terrible guest. I will never have her back on the show. When can people listen to you on Inception Radio Network?
I just relaunched my show again. So it's every Friday, 8 p.m. Central to 9:30. And I just have a blast. I'm absolutely silly. So, hey, anybody that needs advice on any of these odd topics, from angels to aliens, feel free to write me. So HeidiHollis.com is my main website as well. And I also want to tell people to check out FickleFinders.com. That's my cartoon animation little thingy that I'm trying to push forward too. But so I do my best to try to help people. I'm not a guru. I'm not a psychic. I'm just somebody who's trying to make a difference because it matters to me to try to help my neighbors.
Look, all of the people that do one thing to help somebody, be it big or small, they add up, and it negates every single mean thing somebody does to something else. So that's when when you want to make a nice gesture, you get that urge, even if it's the smallest thing, just do it because it's counterbalancing something else that it's not doing well. You know what I mean? It's always act on those impulses. It's such an essential part of why you're here. And obviously, we love you, and we would love to have you on the show anytime because it's a very dangerous and volatile combination putting us three on together, clearly.
You guys have really uplifted me, and I feel so happy and honored to have had the chance to talk to you because I'm vibe with you guys. I mean, it's really cool. I'm really happy. Really,
it's the Minnesota / Wisconsin /
MJ
Chicago
is like
thing.
The Saturday Night Live of the paranormal world. He just brings all the best talent together.
There you go. Well, I was born in San Francisco, but I was raised over here.
Ooh, see, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've got the connection there.
From my neck of the woods.
Exactly. Yes.
All the weirdos come out of San Francisco.
There you go. Goodness. But no, this has been an absolute blast because it's always just so refreshing, and I feel like people are finding each other that are involved at these levels, right?
We are
totally
stronger together than we are individually, and there was a very long period there of doing things individually to figure it out, and then once you kind of figure it all out, it just exploded. It was it's all synchronistic, it's all interconnected. Everything is everything. It's wild, and we only got a minute left, so we can't get into that right now.
That's all good. We'll have to do this again.
Definitely. So everybody, I just want to thank Heidi for coming on the show. You are a bright, shining source of light, and really, I can't wait to work together with you and put together a Truth Funders campaign for you. It's going to be out of this world.
It's always refreshing to just come across people that get it in terms of the amount of passion that I feel like a lot of people around me just don't look at me and they go, what the hell is wrong with you? And it's nice to, being in the company of someone that just understands a lot of the nonsense you have to go through in order to be this crazy, but it's worth it.
Oh, same here. Thank you guys so much. This is a blast.
All right, you've been listening to TruthFunders Radio on the Inception Radio Network. My name is Art Webb. That is Mark Schwartz. You go to truthfunders.com. What was your website one more time, Heidi?
HeidiHollis.com.
HeidiHollis.com. Download the podcast from the Inception Radio Network. They are the most tolerant human beings over there for putting up with us. We are grateful to them every single week for doing so. And we will talk to y'all next week. This is TruthFunders Radio live on the Inception Radio Network.
TruthFunders Radio on the Inception Radio Network.